In this video, I'll be sharing with you how your friends can be brainwashing you and what you can do to regain control. All right? You don't want to miss this one. Dimitri here. Let's get right into it. First of all, I would like to say that I am not anti-social. I am pro-social. I believe that in order for us to live our best life, we have to share our daily experiences with someone, with people, a community of people around us. This is absolutely true. No one is an island. In order for you to really enjoy the best of what you're carrying, you need to have a community of people to share that gift with. If you are not sharing your gift with anyone, chances are you are not living your best life. So I want to put it out there so that you know that yes, I am not anti-social. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to kindly ask you to watch until the very end so you know exactly where I stand when it comes to friendship. As a matter of fact, there's a quote in the Bible that simply says, iron sharpens iron. I believe that more than you can possibly imagine. As a matter of fact, I always tell people that not only iron does sharpen iron, it goes on to also shape it. It goes on also to shape the other iron. So you are who you are by virtue of being exposed to some people out there. The people who are part of your inner tribe. They condition you to believe what you believe. They condition you to behave how you behave. And they condition you to have the things that you have. This is simply a fact of life. And this is something that you have to be aware when it comes to friendship. Because at the end of the day, some of us have to be okay with having some vacant seat in our homes. Some of us have to be okay with having some vacant seat in our business. Some of us have to be okay with having some vacant seat in our inner circle until and unless you find the right people, the ideal people for this vacant position. You should just leave them alone, because you know what? You're going to bring someone just for the sake of bringing someone to fill a position, and next thing you know, this person is actually bringing you down. It's actually causing you to walk 10 steps backward as opposed to forward. It's causing you to have so many headaches that you can focus on the main vision. You start focusing on things that were not even part of your initial vision as far as your life is concerned or as far as your business is concerned. And it's also important to consider the fact that when it comes to friends, you may say to yourself, this is a casual friend that I actually get to see once a week or once a month or once every 2 months and so on and so forth. So therefore, it's limited access to me. So I don't see how the damage can be that important as far as our connection is concerned. Let me just tell you how things work when it comes to the world of conditioning. In 1895, I believe, or 1896, or let's just say later 1800s. This is all the reason why I always say that yes, as far as friendship is concerned, as far as tribes is concerned, I keep telling people, yes, availability does not mean eligibility. Just because someone is always available does not mean you should be considering this person for the vacant position in your life. Just because someone is always available does not mean that this person is the right person as far as being your friend is concerned. You have to actually look deeper to really figure out if the person you're bringing into your circle, into your inner circle, is going to do good or damage as far as what you're trying to accomplish is concerned. The Russian man, Pavlov, came up with his experiment with dogs. And through his experiment, he came to realize there was a way to condition the dog to behave a particular way. And two of the criteria that he focused on when it comes to this conditioning are the one I would like to actually put on the table as far as this conversation is concerned. The first one is simply says, yes, through an intense state of mind, you can find a way to induce a particular idea in the mind of the dog, or in the mind of the person you're working with. That was basically a given. So for example, most of us knew exactly where we were in 2001 when the plane crashed in America. You can remember exactly where we were because it was a state of shock for all of us. So you can almost remember exactly if I said September 11th, where were you? You will know exactly where you were. And for some people who are actually slightly older, I would simply say, if I say 1963, the year when John Fitzgerald Kennedy was actually assassinated, most people will know exactly where they were and what exactly we're doing. Why? Because it was an intense moment that all of a sudden you know exactly, because intense, I know exactly who I am, and everything that happened in the moment basically get lodged in your mind and you know exactly what you were doing. So that's a given. association through intense moment. That's a given. But the other side of the conditioning is more subtle, and most people actually don't really pay attention to it. You know what it is? Repetition. I'm going to cause you to behave a particular way through repetition. I will just come casually and say something to you and repeat it every single time I see you, to the point where just by seeing me, you're going to know exactly what I'm going to say to you, because that's exactly the same thing I'm repeating over and over again. And if you're not really careful, whatever idea I'm actually putting out there is going to be lodged in your subconscious, and that cause you to start believing certain things, cause you to start behaving in a particular way. Next thing you know, cause you to have certain result that you may have never intended to have as far as your own life is concerned. And this is really key. Oh my God, let me just stop right there and give you the perfect example to illustrate this. As a matter of fact, a few days ago, I was talking to you about how the missionaries, after the 1884-1885 conference in Berlin, became all of a sudden the top choice as far as the administration is concerned in Africa. Because the colonizers, as they sent the people to Africa, they realized very quickly that the civil servants were not getting the right result as far as getting compliance out of the people within Africa, because they were being too rough with the people and the response was not always positive. On the other end, they looked around and they saw that the missionaries were actually building and forging deep relationship with the locals, to the point where they started trusting them with the new idea they were bringing from Europe. And next thing you know, they started using the missionaries to go on to simply infiltrate the leadership within the African continent, within the African region, within the African nation, to find a way to now exporting the ideas as far as how things are supposed to be done in Africa is concerned. So that I spent a great amount of time to actually review that. If you didn't watch the video, please make sure to actually watch this particular video right here. But things didn't always work that particular way, where the colonizer through the missionary will go somewhere and find a way to successfully inject the ideas in the mind of the local people. Let me just give you the perfect counterexample. In 1977, in Brazil, a remote tribe known as the Piraia found themselves visited by a gentleman by the name of Daniel Everest. This gentleman brought his family and decided he was going to spend 6 years living with this particular tribe, because he said to himself, this is my job to go and evangelize. So he started living with the locals and trying to live like them. But very quickly, as he was befriending them, he realized something peculiar about these people. The language was different from the language that he was actually used to in the Western world. For example, this language, they have no concept as far as time is concerned. They have no sense of time. For them, it's never 1 o'clock in the morning, 1 o'clock in the afternoon. It's basically, yes, it's just a day or night. They don't have a concept of time. They don't keep watches or a clock somewhere to tell them what time it is. That's number one. Number two, in the day-to-day conversation, even amongst adults, they have no sense of fiction. They don't talk about the concept that could be seen as fiction. Everything is real. That's number two. Number three, when it comes to even the discussion, when it comes to deep things, they don't talk in terms of myth. Everything is actually in the real. So this was really hard when it comes to ways to now present the concept of religion or faith to these people. So as you can imagine, very quickly he realized these people have no concept of God. So how could he introduce in such idea to these people? He was completely shocked. And to make things even more interesting, these people, they don't have a way to describe colors. That was even becoming more interesting. And to make things even worse, they don't even count. So for them, counting is basically either 1, 2, or many. Anything above 2 is basically a crowd. So that's how they were thinking. So this gentleman, after living with them for 6 years, he came to a place where the concept or the paradigm that they say that iron shall sharpen iron or iron shall shape iron he came to a place where instead of being the influencer, influencing the local people to start believing in certain things, he started behaving in a particular way, he started now thinking like them. And next thing you know, he said to himself, I am no longer going to be a Christian. As a matter of fact, I no longer believe in God. So he went back to America and decided to simply say that, yes, I'm no longer going to believe in God. And eventually he became the Dean of Art and Science at the University of Berkeley in Massachusetts in America. Why this particular important? Because it simply highlights two key things. That this thing known as peer pressure, or this thing known as a friend, the influence of friend is real. When you look at, for example, the world of high schoolers, you're going to see that up to 80% of them, according to the National Library of Medicine in America, and 80% of them have been basically influenced by the peers to start smoking. Up to 75% of them decide to try drinking alcohol because of peer influence, because of peer pressure. That's just when it comes to high school. And when it comes to even adult, you're going to see that the numbers are just as interesting. Up to 77% of decisions we make when it comes to our purchases are influenced by our friends as adults. And up to 23% of people listen to what the friends are saying when it comes to anything that they're doing out there. So this thing called word of mouth is the truth. We are shaped now by the voices of the people around us. So after having said that, and giving you this example of Daniel Everett, my point is not to tell you stop being friends with anyone. Stop being friendly and go live in isolation. Absolutely not. Because I am a pro-social. I believe that your best life can only be lived in the company of other people out there. You have to have someone to be in community with in order to share what you're carrying. Otherwise, what you're sharing may not be as wonderful as you think you are going to experience it if you just stay on your own. Having said that, when it comes to regaining a sense of control, as far as your life is concerned, as far as the narrative is concerned, here are the simple 4 strategies I'm going to put on the table for you to consider. Number 1, it's all about awareness. You have to come to a place of awareness. Know exactly what your friends are up to, and ask yourself the key question: what I perceive as the general mood, is it aligned with who I am as far as my life is concerned? Is it aligned with my vision when it comes to my own personal life? And when it comes to my business, is this aligned with where we are going? What I perceive with this potential candidate, is it aligned with where we are going? And what I perceive to be the crowd of the person around this person, and are they aligned with where we are going? Are they aligned with our top vision? If not, then basically start making the right decision. That's number 1, awareness. Number 2, I would simply call it focus or clarity. You have to go back to the drawing board on a daily basis. I tell people, as you get up in the morning and before you go to bed at night, it's a time for you to recalibrate yourself. Go back to a place where you simply recalibrate yourself. Ask yourself the key question: what is my vision as far as my life is concerned? What is my vision as far as my business is concerned? What is my vision as far as what I'm trying to achieve is concerned? This must be something that you put in front of your keep in front of you front and center at the beginning of the day and at the end of the day, because that's how you're going to simply condition your mind to know exactly where you are going. That's very important. When you do that on a daily basis, it's going to now help you also navigate this thing called friendship, navigate this thing called peer pressure, navigate this thing called influence when it comes to your friends out there. That's number 2. Number 3, individuation. It is wonderful to be in a group, but from time to time it is important, as I keep saying, on a daily basis, at the beginning of the day and at the end of the day, to simply go back to a place where you simply ask yourself the key question: yes, I know exactly what my life is supposed to be. I know exactly, I have clean knowledge of who I'm supposed to be. That's number 1. I have clean knowledge of the practical value I bring to the table. And because of that, I also know that everything I'm going to do today, or everything I did today, are aligned with the mission I'm carrying within me. So individuation, it is wonderful to spend time with people, but I have to make sure that at the beginning of each day and at the end of each day, I did things that were aligned with me going in the right direction as far as I am concerned. And last but not least, the last thing that you have to consider is tribe. As I was saying to you, It's not a matter of being antisocial or anything like that. It's about being aware of what the crowd out there can do to you, so you can bring to a place of awareness, bring to a place of clarity or focus, bring a place of individuation, and ultimately remember that you can only experience your best life in the company of like-minded people who want to experience the same thing. We can now challenge you as well to bring more of the best that you are getting as far as your life is concerned. So once you realize that you also need a tribe around you, but the tribe must be a tribe of like-minded people, all I can simply say, sky is going to become the limit. You're going to slowly but surely get to a place where you're going to now go to a place where you're going to regain control as far as the narrative of your life is concerned, and as far as the direction you're supposed to take when it comes to your life. All right, the best is yet to come, but now for the best we manifest it, you and I have to remain intentional. And intentionality is done with one key thing, this simple formula: A.F.I.T. Awareness, focus, individuation, and last but not least, tribe. Go find your tribe and make the best as far as what you were supposed to do is concerned. Take good care. I'm out.